Today's another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ, Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. Immediate apologies. I spilled Dairy Queen on my shirt. I just now noticed it. Fat guy shit.
Whatever. Hope Blizzard doesn't hurt anybody.
Dude, I forgot how good Blizzards were. I got the cookies and cream. Cookies and cream Blizzard.
Cookies and cream's good. You know what is really good? If you do the Reese's peanut butter cup, but you have a mix in strawberry topping. It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Dude,
That's fat guy shit right there.
One of the little perks of having a 5-year-old, like, hey, princess, you want to go get ice cream? When really I just want ice cream, but I'm pretending it's like, oh, it's just me being a good father making a sacrifice. But it's like, no, I just want an excuse to go put 1,500 calories in my ass. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what do they have here again?
Oh, wow, this is delicious. I can't believe
you got the app on your phone and shit.
You know what you really want, princess? You want to stop and get a beer at the sports bar? It's just for you. Just for you, princess.
They have chicken nuggets there. You'll love them.
Yeah, it'd be great. Perfect. I love recording on Wednesdays for many reasons. When we chose this day, it was be like, okay, we'll do post shows on Sunday. And then, so recording Tuesday seemed a little too close together. Let's do Wednesdays. But for schedule release day, it's absolutely perfect. Just a few hours ago, they released all the schedules. They milked it, right? International games early, a couple earlier games during the week. And then today they went the whole kit and caboodle. And there it is. Oh, in all its glory, the Las Vegas Raiders 2025-2026 preseason and regular season schedule. We already knew, obviously, AFC West teams were going to play. We knew the home and away games, but now we got dates, we got time windows, we got broadcast partners, and we know, and most importantly, we know when these games are. What stands out to you immediately? What slaps you in the face right when you take a gander at this beautiful document?
I mean, travel-wise, and just there's not too many really bad weather games.
Really, just one. Philly,
Denver can
Philly
get a
in
little
December.
funky. Oh, that's a home. Never mind.
Yeah, Philly, December 14th. I mean, Super Bowl champions.
Yeah,
winner.
Philly in December is going to be.
That's going to be weather.
Terrible.
Other than that, I mean,
man,
Cleveland's
nice.
late but at home. Giants are late but at home. The second Chiefs game's late but at home. The away games are Houston Dome, LA, and then Denver's November. Like, it shouldn't be snowing then. So, and we all know Geno Smith, great in the dome. We play in a dome in the desert, probably not a good cold weather team. I mean, we got a really, really tough cold weather game, but uno mas, just one. Love it.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
I really like
the we got a Thursday game and then the Monday game afterwards. We get an extra day.
Mm-hmm.
Normally they play Thursday and they play the following Sunday. We get the following Monday, so we get an extra days with a rest. It's like a second bye.
Yeah. So the Cowboys have 4 Thursday games this season. That is a cheat code. That's the NFL cheating, because the Monday night game, all right, both teams have the extra day, so there's no advantage, but you're at a disadvantage for Sunday because you're minus 1 day. Thursday, both teams have the disadvantage of a short week going into Thursday, but then when you play the following Sunday, you have a 3-day advantage over the next guy. So give me as many Thursday games as you possibly can. Like, that's always a benefit because you get kind of a mini bye. So the NFL is like, I get it. Cowboys are ratings bonanza, but 4 Thursday night games, that's a gift. That is a gift weird. To Dallas. Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, 3 primetime games, potentially more depending on the last week of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
not bad travel.
One thing that kind of bums me out, or it's kind of something to look at, is we're playing all over the place, time-wise. Bunch of 10 a.m. games, 7 p.m., like 1 o'clock. We're all over the map with those games. 125. Normally the teams that have more consistent kickoff times tend to be a little bit better at it, but I don't know. That's another thing that jumped out at me.
Travel, not that bad. The Raiders will always be a tough, like it'll always be one of the longer traveling teams just because we're based out west. It's always going to be that way. Like we're never going to be, I think Cincinnati is only flying like 8,000 miles or something, just some ungodly tiny number of traveling. But we're kind of like average. Normally we're like 28th, 29th, 30th most travel. So that's a good part. That's a good one, right? We're not as brutal of a travel schedule as usual. Any games you just like would love to go to?
I
The
would really like
Eagles
to
game
go to
might
the
be
Philly
fun.
game. I'd really like to go to an Eagles
Philly game would
game.
be fun.
Just I want to just tighten up my Muay Thai a little bit.
Go train with Paul Felder.
Those are the kind of fans that will. I mean, you can't avoid a fight there. They're just gonna grab you.
It was so weird having a Super Bowl when everyone was rooting for the Eagles. It was so weird because like no one wanted to see the Chiefs three-peat. Obviously, all of Raider Nation was back in the Eagles. It was uncanny. It was like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and like the worst fan base in football got everyone backing them. You get one, Philly. No one's rooting for you next season.
Yeah, you're lucky you were playing the freaking devil.
I love opening up against the Patriots week 1.
What's up with that disrespect? We're 3.5-point dogs to the freaking Patriots. They had a worse freaking season than we did, and we had freaking Slapdig and Tiddlywinks as our quarterback.
I'm putting some juice on that bad boy. Dude, going against Josh McDaniels, it's going to be awesome. Patrick Graham versus Josh McDaniels. Ironically, the best contribution Josh McDaniels made to the Raiders was Patrick Graham.
He made a couple.
Right?
Patrick
Graham. Anyone else?
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby was good. That was a nice pickup. But I would rather have Patrick Graham than Jacoby.
Chandler Jones.
Yeah,
we were talking about good ones. Great. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant gaping assholes that were dropped by us.
I thought you meant freaking crashed out, just psychopaths.
So give me we accept the kickoff, right? Kickoff, touchback, first play on offense. Chip Kelly designs a play that puts Brock Bowers 1-on-1 against Robert Spillane. Double move, 80-yard touchdown. First play of the game. Just to remind everybody, it's like, yeah, we didn't overpay for Spillane because he can't cover. And there's no fucking way he's covering Brock Bowers 1-on-1. That's my dream.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to do everything they can to not have Spillane cover Bowers. We did a good job of keeping him more of like a zone guy over the middle type guy. But yeah,
that's Chip's homework. How do you get Spillane 1-on-1 against Brock Bowers? Just to make RJ happy.
If Geno has the freedom, he can just motion guys, move them around to get those matchups that we want. That's kind of, if you have a guy that just can just get open on anyone, which Brock Bowers showed he could just get open and it doesn't matter who's covering him. If you have an extremely favorable matchup, yeah, man, just move them guys around. Get a little funky with it.
It matters to me because I just want Brock beating Spillane one time. And I like Spillane, but not September 7th. Did you see the international schedule?
I peeked at it,
but it's Sao Paulo, London, Madrid, some cool cities I recommend going to, recommend visiting.
Dude, they need to freaking fix those soccer stadiums in Sao Paulo. People were freaking breaking their necks out there last year. Was it Eagles and Packers? Guys popping hammies and freaking. It's not the same type of grass, man. It's not the same type of field. They gotta stamp that field down, tighten it up a little bit.
So that doesn't really apply to like that stadium, but when Brazil had the Olympics in 2000, 2012, whenever it was. They built, obviously they built all these stadiums for the Olympics in all these just like random cities. Like 2/3 of those stadiums, nothing was ever there again. They're just like covered in cobwebs and like falling apart, and just like hobos are in there cooking meth. It's like Brazil dumped all this money into making new stadiums, and then I just like left them there.
You said they weren't doing anything in there. Now you're saying hobos are in there cooking meth. That means that something's going on in there.
They've invested in the hobo meth growing community.
I mean, something's going on in there.
Leave no kid behind. That's Brazil's strategy. Looking wise. So the big news came down for mostly for the Saints, but obviously big news for the Raiders. Derek Carr announced his retirement. And it's been a while since we've had gloves off, fisticuffs, you and me on Derek Carr. He hasn't been a Raider for a couple seasons, so we haven't done it. Maybe we'll do it now. We'll see where things go. I can't predict the future. I mean, the old heads remember. We had 10,000 subscribers now, by the way. Thank you, everybody, for that. Got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube now. Appreciate every single one of you goddamn windbags for being a part of this party. The people that have been around a while remember me and Soto just fucking going championship UFC matches over Derek Carr. I would say of all the times you've stormed off the show, I'd say half of them were Derek Carr related. Maybe more than half.
I think they all were.
Maybe 100%, right? We're batting 1,000 on Derek Carr. But it's been civil because he hasn't been a Raider for 2 seasons, so I didn't really give a shit. He announced on the Twitter machine. We'll give him. Oh, I gotta pull up the video. Wow, share screen. Way to be prepared, RJ. Super professional. Bam, bam, bam. One more click, and we're up. Okay. Upon reflection of prayer, reflection of prayer, and in discussion with Heather, I've decided to retire from the National Football League for more than 11 years. We've been incredibly blessed, and we are forever grateful and humbled by this experience. It's difficult to find the right words to express our thanks to all the teammates, coaches, management, ownership, team officials, and especially the fans who made this journey so special. Your unwavering support has meant the world to us. 11 years as a starter in the NFL. Made $200 million over the course of his time in the National Football League. Didn't win a single playoff game. Played for two franchises. Well, first off, what was your reaction to him at what, 33? Not 34. Old. 34. Still, pretty old. Young. I felt this came out kind of out of nowhere to me.
It just, this whole saga that was going on with the Saints, I was kind of noticing it, like following it from afar. It just looked and smelled kind of funky, because not too long ago he was talking about wanting to get traded or wanted to get released.
Like bad meat cheese.
Yeah, it's I'm trying really hard to stay objective about all this, but putting all the pieces together, it just seems like he doesn't want competition for his job. And he is hurt. That is legitimate. The degree of injury, I don't know. There's no what was it? There's no guarantee I'm going to be the same player I was before my injury. If I had surgery, type of thing is a little bit, I don't know. It's a little bit hollow to me. Look, if he's legitimately retiring on his own terms, and I say his own terms because he's making the conscious decision, I want to retire, I'm going to stay retired, then that's great, because I've been to retirement parties before, and I've always loved it, because it's like, you know what? You get to live the rest of your life, and you get to enjoy what you've earned while you worked. So that's amazing. Go on to the next chapter of your life. He's probably going to live 50 or more years plus. So that's a great time for him to enjoy that $200+ million, him and his family, generational changing wealth. That's great. If he comes back, it's going to look like he was afraid of competition. That's how I see it from the pieces of him. Before he retired, he wanted to get traded to somewhere else, or he wanted to get released so he can play somewhere else. That's just what's not sitting well for me. But ultimately, I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the fact that he had a 10+ year career. that he made $200+ million and he has a lot of time to spend with his family. And I hope he's happy. I really do hope that he's doing this for the right reasons, because when people get forced to do things that they have to live with, the resentment is very difficult to deal with. And normally the man is not the same. It's not the same person that was forced into a decision. So hopefully he's at peace with this decision and he sticks with it, and he enjoys everything that he's earned.
Yeah, of course, you always want, a longtime Raider to walk away on his own terms. I don't know if I so much buy it was a thing of competition. I just think it was a cesspool over there in New Orleans. Like, he went over there because of Dennis Allen, who's not a head coach, as we all know. He's terrible. Dennis Allen left, new regime, franchises falling apart, talent's disappearing, salary cap issues. He keeps getting hurt. He's like, why am I doing this? Like, he was the most durable quarterback in the NFL when he was with the Raiders. And then he goes to New Orleans and his body just nukes itself. So it's like, why am I killing myself to be a 5-win team with a coach I don't know? And I'm a transitional quarterback. If they were on the verge of winning a Super Bowl, I think you'd be doing everything you could to come back. But he's just like, look, this is probably the time. This is probably the time to walk away. I think the timing was right. There's you'd have to either be like desperate for money, or I just can't do anything else with my life other than football. If you're Derek Carr in the situation, want to come back, it's like, that's all I am. That's all I care about. That's all I want to do is football. And he's made it clear, right? He wants to be a preacher. He's got a bunch of kids.
He's already one. He already leads the service and everything at his church. Yeah. And that's exactly why I said, don't come back. It's good. It's not going to be good for you. Like, if Derek Carr would have been better served for his overall legacy if he never played for the Saints, if he kept his word and never played for anyone else.
If he comes back, there's no way that was a plan. Because if he would just stayed and got surgery,
it looks terrible.
$30 million. You know what I mean? Like,
terrible, dude.
Well, it not only looks like
terrible.
Even if he doesn't care how it looks, it would cost him $30 million. Because
dude, it looks like a bitch move that he took his ball and went home because he didn't like his situation, and he was just going to wait out the clock to go play somewhere else. That's what it's going to look like. I'm not saying that that's what happened.
Should go with night vision goggles into his house and beat the shit out of him because it's $30 million.
I get what you're saying. I get it. And I get why you're saying what you're saying. I get that you're not looking at the other side of it because of your history with Derek Carr. I'm telling you, it just by your own words. I don't like the situation. I'm not guaranteed a spot. We're not winning games. I don't like it. I'm gonna fucking sit out, and then I'm gonna come back later. That's a bitch move. I hope he doesn't do it. I hope, because up until now, I've thought of him as somebody who's pretty close to his word, and signing a contract and retiring just to come back later it just sets really bad with me, and I just hope he doesn't do it. I hope he's at peace with what he's doing right now, and he can move forward and not look back.
And because of your history with Derek Carr, I know you're trying to think most negative of him.
I'm not trying to. I'm telling
there's
you.
There's no way that's the plan, because that's $30 million guaranteed.
You can't say that. I'm not saying it is the plan.
You think he'd walk away from $30 million guaranteed?
That's the thing. I'm not saying it is the plan.
You're making it sound like that's the plan.
No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it's going to look like that. You're saying it's definitely not. I'm saying it's going to be looked at like that. I'm not saying it's the plan at all. But it's going to look terrible for him, as if he has any idea of how he looks. Probably not, because he's handled stuff in the past and just used his brother and everything to talk for him. But for right now, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look if he comes back. I hope and pray that this is what he really wants, and he's at peace with it, and he stays retired.
Well, right now it's a fantastic look, because he's saying, I'm not going to take $30 million free dollars just to get surgery, pretend I'm going to be here,
and it would all go downhill if he comes back.
You know what I'm saying? It's like $30 million he's saying no to. So it seems like the right reasons, and there's no way that's the plan. If he doesn't want 80, we'll be on here talking about it. But it would be a complete 180 in his brain, or he had a stroke and thinks he can play again, or it would be something like that, to say no to $30 million and come back and make, like, what would his offer be if he's injured, sits out a whole season, retired, and then says, okay, I'm back. Who wants to pay me? You know what I mean? It'd be like the dumbest financial move in history. So, all right, he's not coming back. I don't like. There's no way he's.
I hope he doesn't. I really do, Derek. If by any stroke of just dumb luck and whatever you hear this, dude, enjoy your retirement, man. $204 million you earned over your career. Just enjoy that and move on with your life, dude. Yeah. There's nothing left for you in football.
So what's his legacy in the NFL? What's his legacy for the Raiders? For me, in the NFL, let's start with the NFL. For me, he was a perfect personification of two things. The money for starting NFL quarterbacks in the NFL is insane. Like, he was an above average quarterback. One year he flirted with really, really good, but he was,
he was average to above average. Yeah, he was there. He was in that range.
You said it. I said it. 10 to 14 guy for the bulk of his career, depending on whatever, right? And he made $200 million. Name one job on planet Earth where you're like pretty good at it. You're like, okay, I'm slightly better than run of the mill, but I'm nothing special. Name one job on Earth where you could be okay and make $200 fucking million. Like, that's it. NFL quarterback. There's no other job where you're just like, I'm okay. I'm running the mill. I'm average. I'm pretty good. Okay, here's $500 million.
Yeah, that's
not crazy. Even lifetime, 11 years. That's not even like a 40-year, a CEO that worked for 40 years. Like, that's barely a decade. That's crazy.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. His legacy in the NFL, let's see. Probably a cautionary tale because the expectations on him were through his contract. And he never quite was able to just be that guy consistently to deserve the money that he was being paid. And it's not like he's the only one that it's happened to. It's happened to quite a few guys. But what sticks out is just for how long and how bad the Raiders were during his tenure. And he just and they just stuck with him the entire time. It's one of those things where it's like good enough isn't. If someone is just good enough to not be replaced, you should probably replace them, because that level of, and we just talked about it. He was the only thing he was really consistent at was being where he was in that range, and that range is not going to get you there. You need somebody that has more, who has a higher level of play more consistently. He had those peaks. He had those crazy peaks, man. He really did. But for the most part, he was that guy. And I'm not going to get into like overall stats and stuff like a lot of like guys that are really in love with Derek Carr do, because he probably threw the ball more than anyone else in the NFL during his tenure, and he played every single game. So yeah, he's going to accumulate a lot of stats. But if you break down those stats average wise, they're pretty average. So it's just he was a good dude, man. He was a good teammate. His teammates liked him. I can't fault him. I'm not going to fault him for any of that stuff. He wasn't the guy to lead the franchise long term. And I think that people were squinting at him, wanting him to be that guy, because he was such a good dude. And he had ability and talent, but he wasn't that guy to be one of those guys that you talk about every single year as one of a perennial championship contender, or even just an MVP contender type guy every season. But he was paid like it, and he stuck around with the Raiders like he was, over that longevity that he had. But he was what he was, man. He was just a slightly above average NFL quarterback for his time. Just so happened that he got stuck on a team that was quarterback thirsty for so long that they squinted and kept him around longer than they probably should have.
He's the perfect example on what we always talk about with quarterbacks, how where you go, who you're with, who's your coach, what's the franchise like, what's the ownership like, what's the stability of the front office is even almost more important than the actual person. Because the Raiders the Raiders failed Derek Carr far more than Derek Carr failed the Raiders.
He went out there and did his best. What do you?
He did his best with he is. I think why he's so polarizing is he was the face of the worst decade in Raiders history. And it was because it was the worst defense in Raiders. It was the worst defense in the league for the years he was there. Multiple coaches, most of them shit, constant anarchy and turnover. You finally got a decent, like a coach that's jiving in Jack Del Rio, and he gets jealous of the OC, kicks him to the curb. Offense falls apart. John Gruden finally kind of starts getting the ball rolling a little bit. And then Roger Goodell leaks 3 of 700,000 emails to get him fired. Changing locations, shit stadium. Mark Davis had no clue what he was doing during this entire time. The one consistency was Derek Carr. He was the only person that was there that survived all of that. And was he good enough to raise all that shit and like overcome that? No. Is there a single quarterback that can? I don't know, man. Like Joe Burrow was able to get the Bengals from shit to good to the Super Bowl. I mean, it would take like that. It would take Joe Burrow to turn
I agree with
that Raiders team around, right?
And that's what I want to just and I'm not trying to slight the guy because I think we all agree on who he was as a player. He wasn't that, and I think a lot of like staunch Derek Carr backers want to put him in that category for the flashes that he showed, but he's not that. He's not one of those perennial MVP guys.
And we're on the same page. I also think a lot of people want to blame him for how shitty we were during his tenure when there was a million things very wrong.
He played his part, but it wasn't all his fault.
And he was consistently above average, at least during that time when almost everything around him was dog shit. Like we talk about like the Jets, right? We joke about all the time how, it's where quarterbacks go to die. They're fantastic at drafting quarterbacks. They go there and then they go somewhere else and they're great, right? Like the Jets, I did the math. The Jets hit percentage at drafting a quarterback, him failing there and succeeding somewhere else is better than the NFL average of drafting a first round quarterback and have it be a hit. Like failing in New York is like the key to success as an NFL quarterback, right? So like, I don't think that there isn't a single quarterback that could have been drafted and played for the Raiders during that time that would have made that team a Super Bowl team. It clearly wasn't Derek Carr, and I don't think there's a single quarterback that would have. And I think why he's the most polarizing Raider of all time, and maybe the most polarizing football player of the last 11 years, is because he was just good enough to be above average, nowhere near good enough to bring a shit franchise out of being shit during that period. And so it was a constant, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. And he was the face of it. So he'll forever be the face of the worst decade in Raiders history. Not because of him. It's just, he was not Superman to pull that franchise out of dog shit. And if we have success this season, Soto, that isn't like the testament to Mark Davis, Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, Chip Kelly, and this team for a franchise that not just coming off of a 4-win season, but a roster that's been decimated by terrible John Gruden decisions, Josh McDaniels decisions, Mark Davis decisions. We'll get to, Geno Smith here later in the show, but if this season we're good and we start like consistently being good, that's not just, oh, wow, Brady and Chip and Spitek and Pete, they did a good job of turning that franchise around. It's like, no, they turned a steamliner around that was headed to Shitsville for the last 20 years and made it good. Like that's how, and we're Raiders fans, man. It hurts to say it, but it's the truth. Like I lived it. I cried the tears with all you guys, so I can say it. It's been that bad. And Derek Carr was churned into that shit and became the face of it.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the Derek Carr fans really put that undue pressure on him and didn't it was a shame that the franchise was run as poorly as it was, because there should have been some competition for that quarterback spot.
They never once tried to develop a backup quarterback, a replacement.
That's how you know what you actually have.
Yeah.
Is that you keep getting guys that can push the guy that's the quarterback, because you could find someone that's better. Who knows? I'm not saying yes or no, but you definitely don't know if you don't try. And they never did. And it was
another
because
sign,
he was just good enough to keep his job.
One of the best signs of how poorly the franchise was ridden is that they're just like, dude, even like the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes are like, let's see what we got. Maybe one day we'll trade for him, or maybe this guy will be a backup. Like, no matter how good your quarterback is, good teams kick the tires, take a look, try to develop. Raiders said, nah.
Never once.
No, we're good. Last thing. I think of like the biggest what ifs in Raiders history, because I like to torture myself. Immaculate Reception, Tuck Rule, and Indy on Christmas Eve when Derek Carr broke his leg. Like, we finally had a good season. Everything was kind of falling our way, and we lose our starting quarterback in the second to last game of the season. I think, you know what? Could we have beaten the Pats in the AFC Championship game? They were a monster. But I think if it was close in the fourth quarter, that team was in it, no matter what. Blackjack Del Rio, Crabtree, Cooper, defense was still shit, but Cook. But like, if it was close in the fourth quarter, that team believed that they were in every game, and they were, and they won almost all those really close games. It'll always haunt me, man. That what if
Donald Penn getting beat asshole naked around the corner.
I still have not been back to the bar where I watched that game. Michael's on Golden West. And I love that bar. I haven't been back.
Loved
the game I watched the car break his leg in the season end. After 15 years of not going to the playoffs? Was it 15 years.
I went up to get a drink, and I was in my living room, and I walked in, and I'm like, I just exhaled. I'm like, what? What? Oh boy, yeah, that was a bummer.
That was also the very first night I did drugs because of that. Did I tell you the story?
Yeah.
I came back. So for those who didn't hear the story, I went. So I'm not a drug. I'm a drunk. I don't do drugs. So that night, I'm like, season's over. I'm so pissed. So I'm like drunk. I'm just being a dickhole to my wife, Vicky. I'm just being an asshole to her. Like, I'm not fucked up enough. Give me something. She says, oh, you're not? Okay, take this. Hands me a 20 milligram edible. Mind you, I've never smoked pot at that point in my life. Never took an edible. Never vaped. Never so much as like.
He called it pot. That's how you know.
I called it pot. I'm like, fine, fuck you. I take it. 90 minutes later, I'm on my couch and I'm in the stratosphere. I'm so high. I stand up and I'm walking through my living room, stepping over invisible landmines. Like, there's nothing on the carpet. There's nothing there. And I'm trying to step over it so I don't step on an obstacle. I go into my bed and I'm so high, I think I'm going to fall out of bed. And when I do, I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to fall to my death, the 18 inches to the floor. So I lay on my stomach, face down, right arm around the bed, left arm around my wife, and close my eyes. And I just fell asleep like that. And I blame the Colts for that.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Yeah. All right. Well, the guy who won the Super Bowl that year, Tom Brady, is now our owner. Full circle. Here we are. We're back. So we talked about Skip Bayless's comments about Tom Brady, his tweet. Obviously, Tom Brady told the Raiders, don't pick Shador. That was Skip. Tom Brady kind of retorted to Skip, saying, oh, yeah, he says whatever, one little diatribe about the media. And he said, no, I wasn't ever involved in any evaluation process. He said, nope, no, I didn't do anything like that. And we're like, okay, Tom. Okay. So, of course, Skip is not going to miss an opportunity to retort to a retort from the greatest football player of all time. Skip was just drooling and waiting for Tom Brady to retort. And so his Skip's retort to the retort. So you might have seen the video I posted last Thursday night. Tom Brady on Jake Paul's podcast blasted me for saying that he obviously told Raiders GM John Spitek not to draft Shador Sanders. That's my opinion. That's my take. I know I'm right. So I fired back at Tom Brady, pointing out that Spitek, his former teammate at Michigan, had said before the draft that the Raiders would be fools not to ask Tom Brady, now Raiders owner, about quarterbacks they were considering in the draft. Yeah, they would be absolute fools not to ask Tom Brady about quarterbacks. I mean, Brady is the obvious GOAT. How many times have I said that on the airwaves over the last 10 years? Which quarterback was the most debated quarterback in any draft ever? That was Deion's son, Shador, the same quarterback Tom Brady mentored and coached since he was a sophomore in high school. So, Tom Brady wants us to believe that his good friend Spitek, who also was an executive with the Bucs when he was down in Tampa, wouldn't ask him. As the Raiders owner, one thing about Shador? Yeah, right, Tom. And you didn't fumble on that tuck rule play and maybe cost Al Davis a Super Bowl. So the thing with Skip and why he's a multimillionaire is he throws a bunch of shit at you, but there's just one little corn nugget enough of truth to piss you off and make you think. It is pretty outrageous for Tom to say, "Oh, I was never involved in any evaluation." It's like, really, Tom? Like, are we supposed to believe that? Are we like your entire front office is saying how invaluable you are as an asset, and you're like, no, I was, I never evaluated. No, not once.
Well, let's take a step back here. John Spitek is also the guy that admittedly made up a story about his son telling him if he doesn't draft Ashton Genty, then he's leaving the family.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Elaborate story, by the way.
Yeah. What? Yeah, it was a great story.
Elaborate.
And it was a total lie.
Because if you heard the interview, one of the interviewers was like, "Hey, I have a source, your wife, who told me this story." So he planted in his wife, giggity, told his wife, planted a story to tell his friend, the interviewer, to bring up on a SiriusXM radio show so he could then tell the true story. Like, that's the fucking Game of Thrones fucking Gossip Girl shit that he did to get that story out there.
He also put the Kelvin Banks name out there at the last minute. Mm-hmm. So it's lying season. We all know it's lying season. Mm-hmm. If I was Tom Brady, I would deny everything. He has a $365 million contract that he's protecting. Mm-hmm. And I would not admit to anything as far as being, hands-on in anything with the Raiders. Now, take that aside. Is it possible that they ask Tom Brady about what are the traits that you value in a quarterback? Mm-hmm. Okay, I got those notes. Let's look at it. Okay, do you see those traits in these guys? Now, if they don't bring Shador Sanders up to Tom Brady, then he's not saying don't draft Shador. He's saying, I see the traits in these guys. I don't see the traits in these guys.
Yeah.
So it's possible. I don't think that he said, oh, don't draft Shador. I'm glad we didn't, because it doesn't seem like he learned a thing about getting humbled by his behavior. But other than that, I don't know, man. Skip is doing his job. That's where journalism is nowadays, is let me just inflame as many people as I can and get as many clicks as I can, and that's fine. That's his job, and that's what he wants to do, and that's why we're talking about it.
Well, I'll say this, and I don't listen to Skip, I don't follow Skip, I don't follow him on Twitter, I don't watch his shows, but I will say this. If Tom Brady went to the team, Mark Davis, Pete Carroll, Spitek, the janitor, whoever, and said, we are drafting Shador Sanders. I vouch for him. I know him. We have to get him. He would be a Raider. That would have happened. Now, that obviously did not happen, because if Tom Brady wanted Shador, he would have gotten Shador. Now, literally any other thing could have happened. You know what I'm saying? He could have been like, I kind of like him. I think he could be good, but I'll leave it up to you guys. He could have said, fuck Shador. He's a head case. He's terrible. Stay the hell away from him.
He's legendary.
Legendary. He could have been, not asked, like, don't ask, don't tell. It could have been literally any other scenario. But we do know for a fact, Tom Brady did not say draft Shador Sanders, because he would have been drafted if that was the case. So we know Tom Brady did not pound the table for Shador. What actually happened, it could be literally any other scenario. Any other scenario on God's green earth could have been the case.
Yeah, and that's why the whole line of avoid him like the plague, it's just ridiculous. That's him doing his job. And that's why he makes the money he makes, because, people fall for it.
That's one of 10 million scenarios that could have been the case. And he picked the dramatic.
People fall for it. People fall for that type of journalism all the time, and that's why he makes money.
Well, we do know our quarterback, Geno Smith. And all of Raider Nation has become experts on Geno Smith in the last, how long has he been a Raider now? 3 months?
3 months.
3 months now?
Something like that.
Thank you, Jacob Gibbs on Twitter, for pulling this up for us and doing the homework so we don't have to. Every Geno Smith throw of 20-plus air yards from a clean pocket in 2024. Look at us doing tape stuff on the Autumn Windbags. You do it sometimes. Apologies to the people on the pod that are just listening. We'll try our best to paint a picture with our words. But let's walk through this, Soto, together as a team, you and me, because I've seen this like 10 times. And I've learned a lot in this 6 minutes.
That bad boy. What's the matter with you?
I'm going to push play first. I'm going to set the table, build it up a little bit. Come on. You got to make it wet first before you go in. You know the drill. You just go in dry? You're crazy. Okay. So a couple things watching this. It's technically a clean pocket, but all of 90% of these throws, the ball's out within 3 seconds because the pass rush. Yeah, because the pass rush is right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, it's technically clean, but watch, it's like 1, 2, 3. I got to get rid of the ball. Now, in 7 minutes of him throwing deep balls, he didn't throw one pick. In this entire sequence, not one interception.
Receivers before the ball. Is that what they're doing now?
Yeah, there's a bunch of drops. There's very little separation. There's some flagrant PIs. Like this defensive end was all over.
Clean pocket. The guy was right in front of his face.
That's my point. I guess by Geno Smith terms, because he's not fighting off 3 tacklers at one time, it's a clean pocket. Those are dirty ass Tom Brady pockets. Those are filthy STD ridden pockets in Tom Brady's world. But in Geno Smith's world, that's a clean pocket.
Some of these throws, Jesus.
In 7 minutes, I saw.
Oh God, look at that.
Two or three.
Cover 2 beater right there.
2 or 3 bad passes, maybe 2 or 3 bad throws.
He got
Everything
touched.
else
How's that a clean pocket when a freaking defender smacks him?
Again, by Geno Smith standards, if it had to be a perfectly clean pocket in Seattle last year, there'd be 3 throws.
Look at that. Oof. Dude, that ball
wide open, but thrown perfectly in stride.
That ball got there quick. He zipped that thing out there.
He's got a fucking howitzer with a sniper scope on it.
Ooh, dude, look at that. That was a tight window right there.
This is against the Niners. Okay, plenty of time. See, plenty of time with that one. That was the closest thing to a miss we've seen so far. Closest thing to a miss we've seen so far. And if he dove for it, he could have made a play.
Well, he also missed out of bounds. Oh, Jesus. He also missed out of bounds, too. If you're going to miss, that's where you want to miss.
Lockett still got it, man. It's kind of a bummer we didn't get him. This is against the Falcons. Clean pocket, tons of time. When he had tons of time, guys got open. That was wide open, perfect ball.
Oh, drop. Oh, God. Or was that tipped away? I can't tell.
I think it was tipped. I think it was really well defended. Moves around in the pocket at time.
Wow. Oh.
Perfect post. And that wasn't clean. He had to move up into the pocket. Contested catch. Oh, 50-50 ball. Brock Bowers catches that.
Give your guy a chance.
50-50 ball. Brock Bowers catches that. So a couple things that I noticed in this. Almost no play action because there was no run threat.
All the running backs were hurt.
In Seattle, right? So, like, why are we wasting our time doing play action? If Ashton Genty is even sort of what we hope for him to be, and you fake a handoff to him, the entire defense needs to respect it. So the play action, like he's going with no O-line, no run threat, or no threat of the run, no play action.
That was all arm. He just flicked it out.
And he's still getting these balls out.
So
this is the first play action. Tons of time. Beautiful ball. Oh, drop.
Oh, God. See, Metcalf, you should have caught that.
That was one of the rare play actions. Play action, tons of time, great ball, and it was a drop. Tough catch, but should have been caught.
Yeah, hit.
Clean pocket, my ass. Overthrew him. He was hit as he was thrown. Has to rush to the side. Okay, look, he ran to the right and had to go up the pocket.
Okay.
Clean pocket.
Running for his life. That's a clean pocket. Okay.
It's literally cool. Like if he doesn't actually have the Crocodile Dundee knife in his side, they consider it a clean pocket.
That last throw,
this is as clean of a pocket as exists. Okay, so that was no one was open. That was the rare time they only rushed 3, dropped 8, and he just threw it away.
The 2 throws ago, when the safety came over, and I think it was Buda Baker, that should have been caught, but that was to get that in there, to fit that pass in there.
You have to spit on
Look
that.
At that. Oh, Jesus.
Another part of this too, you know how he was such like a red zone liability? This is never in the red zone because it's over 20 passes. So this is also
over 20 yards, yeah.
All right, yeah, excuse me, 20 yards. That's
play
also
action.
Why he's doing so good.
Oh,
little too much on it. That was the one on Geno. Little too much. That was a bad decision.
Advice pass.
Pressure right in his face. That wasn't there was pressure right in his face. Wide open. Nice read. Huge gain. Stupid simple. Other than the bright greens. Okay, play action. Tons of time. Wide open. See, we can do that this season. Play action, tons of time. Keep the defense honest. Guys are wide open. That should be an option this season. Step into the pocket. Great defense. That was really well defended. Really well defended. Sort of half-ass play action. Nice. 50-50 ball, Metcalf. Get off me. I bench press 350. Guy breathing down his neck.
What a pass. Hole.
Nice throw. Nice catch. Nice read. Half-ass play action. That's like a quarter-ass play action. Everyone all over him. Throw it away. Wide receiver fell down.
No need to take a hit for no reason. Get rid of that thing.
Play action. See, towards the end, they started mixing in play action, and you're seeing how well it helped. It's kept the pass rush honest, and it gave guys time to get open. I'm telling you, man. We add some play action.
Oh.
It's going to make his life so much better.
Yeah, man. I've seen a lot of these throws and
deep. Oh, really well defended.
Yeah, man. You gotta throw it deep out every once in a while. You could get a flag. You could get a catch out of it. Yeah.
So my big takeaways is it's so funny watching that as a Raiders fan because like we were the only reason our lack of explosive pass plays last season wasn't talked about more is because the run game was even worse. But it's so crazy watching like deep passes. We didn't have that as an option last year. Not being in the red zone obviously helps this video. Clean pocket my ass. That's clean only for Geno Smith. That's not clean for anyone else. Lack of play action, which should not be an issue this year, right? Again, we're being optimistic. Run game was terrible last year. Chip Kelly, Genty. We should at least be a decent run game next season. And that was 0 picks. in 7 minutes of 7 minutes of football, throwing 20 plus yards, clean, mostly under duress. Didn't throw one interception in that time.
I was given a little tidbit while recording the show.
Mm-hmm.
Just 5 of the Raiders' 17 games will be played outdoors, and 7 of the final 8 games will be played indoors.
Geno loves a dome.
Oh, every red-blooded American loves dome.
We'll end the show with some really heartwarming quality content. I cannot wait for this John Madden movie to come out. And we're starting to see leaks of the photos of John Madden, Nicolas Cage as John Madden, Christian Bale as Al Davis.
That looks amazing.
How sweet does that look?
They look a lot like him.
Nailed it.
Did he have to gain a lot of weight or something? What did he do?
I think they're going to put him in a fat suit because that's not very fat. That's not as big as John was. But it might have been in his earlier years. So I don't know. I haven't read anything on the premise. Like his football life story is a 40-year span. Do they just focus on one time? Do they go through his whole life? Is it focus on his coaching? Does it focus on his broadcasting? Like there's the video game. There's like so much shit to get to, I wonder what the focus is.
He had 3 Hall of Fame careers, dude.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame broadcaster, and Hall of Fame in the media space in video games. That's
I'm not
crazy.
gonna lie. I'm more excited to see Christian Bale as Al Davis than I am.
God, the accent's going to be on point, dude.
And I love me some Nic Cage.
Point.
If you ever want 3 minutes of a great laugh, just YouTube Nicolas Cage losing his shit, and it's him just flipping out in all the movies he's been in.
Just looking at this picture, not even having to squint.
This one. So this looks like
that looks a lot like him. The nose is not there. The nose isn't there, but that's fine. That's Nic Cage's nose. But as far as how he wore his pants, that's definitely John Madden. But the previous picture, you don't have to squint. That is Al Davis. It looks like Al Davis.
The big poofy top of the hair.
Little pompadour on top.
I gotta see Christian Bale in the all white sweatsuit.
Jeff George, come and we will go vertical.
Couple liver spots on the head,
You remember when he had that? They were playing the Bills, I think, and he had that little the beanie on, but it was just on the very top of his head, and the freaking top part was just sticking up.
He looked like the top of a baby bottle, just like the binky of it.
Yeah,
I really can't think of a better tandem. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis as Al Davis would have been. Daniel Day-Lewis is incredible.
He's incredible. I'm not going to say he's not an incredible actor, but I don't know that he could take on that type of role and do it. I'm not saying that he can't.
Soto, I could be Daniel Day-Lewis right now, and you wouldn't know it. That's how good he is. I could be Daniel Day-Lewis, and you would have no idea.
Would he look like him? Would he look more like Al Davis than Christian Bale does?
That's what prosthetics are for.
I don't know,
CGI.
Man.
I'm not complaining. I'm just kind of coming with a reason to talk up on Daniel Day-Lewis. My left foot. Yeah. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be following
my son.
Abandoned my boy. Abandoned my child.
You know how long I had to explain that movie to my chick? Why did he kill him with a bowling pin? I'm like this just we got to go back like an hour to just oh god that freaking movie, dude.
There will be blood. I'm surprised this is the first time we've ever quoted that movie. This can't be the first time we quoted that movie on this show in the last 5 years. Can't be. Shame on us if that's the truth.
You know what we haven't? You know what we haven't quoted in a while? Today, Junior.
Junior.
Damn it, Billy.
Are you going to the mall later?
No, go keep spelling, mister.
Ready to do some windbags?
Yeah, man, let's get it.
You guys came with the heat this time. I'm impressed. Kenta Strom, thank you so much for being a member. I can't be the only woman who listens to the Windbags. I'm just letting you know. Maybe. I mean, we can look up the demo right now. We have the technology.
Like 3% or something like that, or like 1.5%.
It is. We have a demographic, and it's like 30 to 40-year-old dudes who love beer, dirty jokes, and got time on their hands. Not a lot of chick.
Yeah, the bulk is like 35 to like 55 who enjoy beer and Hooters.
And quoting comedy shows.
Yeah, quoting comedy. That's the demographic. Faux show.
We have a type, no doubt about it. Audiences. I know we can look this up.
Yeah.
Geographies, subscribers. Oh, age and gender.
What is
well,
it?
Okay, do you want to guess? Do you want to guess what it is?
1.4.
You are way over.
Really?
99.8% male. 0.3% female. I'm not a mathematician. That doesn't work out. But so if we have 10,000 subscribers, and
2%,
that means 30 of them are females.
Doesn't surprise me.
Milkshake brings all the boys to the yard and not the girls. Regular hot dog cart, the Autumn Windbags.
Listen, if I was a little younger, I think I could have been bringing in the chicks. I blame Father Time for that.
Your beard scared them all away, but your cats might have pulled them in. They're getting a lot of conflicting messages.
The ladies at the grocery store love it.
Solomon Mitchell, thank you so much for being a member. Listening to Hondo's podcast is like having missionary sex with your wife of 20 years with the light off, and she keeps her pajama top on the whole time. Not too exciting and very predictable. Thank God for the Windbag keep giving us the gold. That is a very descriptive way to say we're like having sex with a stripper on cocaine at 22 years old, and you just met her 45 minutes ago in the champagne
45
room.
minutes? What took you so long?
I like to charm them. That's half the fun.
You walk up to a stripper and say, "How much do you make in a night?" Okay, how would you like to make half of that in an hour?
I don't know if I don't know if it's I'm just gay or
probably
it's part of my charm, but I love the buttering up process. Her buttering up me buttering up her, getting to know her saying like, "Oh my God, how old are you? 27?" Like, no, bitch, I'm 41. "Oh my God, you're so strong. What do you bench?" Like, not a lot. That's not the case. "You're so funny." Well, you're very right there. I love that process before going in the back and doing your thing.
I love Woody Allen movies. Yeah, right. Get the hell out of here.
You ever seen Pablo Francisco's stand-up comedy? Yeah. He's like, he does this bit where he's like, yeah, strippers will just say literally anything, like dancing to like, "Yeah, I like apples." "Oh, fuck yeah, green apples." Yeah. Like,
so good.
Any dumbass shit you can think of. "Oh yeah, that's my favorite." I love that.
I used to go to a single mom and starving student fundraiser on Tuesday nights with a buddy of ours, and it was like Taco Tuesday. You get like, I don't know, three tacos for $5, something like that. And you could tell this chick was brand new. She walks up, she's like, "So do you guys like the tacos or what?" I'm like, "Huh?"
Are you going to give me that layup to slam dunk, or is this a trick question?
I don't know if you want me to say the pink taco.
I can't imagine why our audience is only 0.3% female. Like, when we talk about Adam Sandler quote movies,
2.3%. What are you talking about?
0.3% female.
Oh,
It was 0.3. Did you not read that right? 0.3. A third of a percent. Of 10,000 subscribers, 30 of them are chicks. Here's the bigger question. Are they chicks
or are they just identifying as women?
Identifying as women. So what do you think? Half of them are transitioning or something?
I don't know.
Half of our female audience is drag queens?
It could be.
How about this? What kind of woman would subscribe to the Autumn Windbags? It's either a
very smart one. A very smart one.
Well, a very knowledgeable Raider fan for sure, but I don't know, man.
They have to have brothers.
Mhm.
They have to get our humor.
Mhm.
They were the weird girl in school that laughed when somebody fell down and hurt themselves. Like all the other girls were like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And she's like, "Ah." That's the girl.
I wouldn't trust a girl that subscribed to the Autumn Windbags because I think they're trying too hard to be one of the guys.
Nope.
And any girl that tries too hard to be one of the guys should be treated as a spy. She's got ulterior motives.
Nope. I disagree. Yep. I think I treasure and value every single one of our female subscribers.
So none of them are having sex with you.
No. I don't. It's not about the sex.
None of them are going down on you. None of them are giving you a rough hand job.
No,
none of them.
You speak very quickly, RJ. You're saying a lot of things that you don't know
I'm
for
savvy.
Sure.
Okay, of our 30 female listeners, how many of you would give Juan Soto a dry hand job? Let us know in the comment section.
Oh boy, see this. I didn't ask this question. I just wanted to be very clear about that.
We had 30 female subscribers. Now I think we're down to 4.
Do you not want to get? Do you want to stay over 10,000? We're like 10,007 right now. Can we just stay over 10,000 for a little bit more than a week?
I only want the ones that love everything we do. I'm not going to change who we are for subscribers. If there's only 10,007 of you that like us,
dude.
So bad. So be it. We'll check next week and see if we lose any female subscribers. See if we go from 0.3 to 0.25 female subscribers. All right. This is how we get rid of the last of the female subscribers. This last one.
Oh, this is
Win 5624. You guys are gay. That's great. You need more gay talk on your show. I love our commenters. You guys are gay. Great. More gay, please.
Either way, this is a next level comment. If he's trolling us and just kind of being sarcastic, it's pretty funny. If he's legitimately like, yeah, be more inclusive and cool, that's good. That's cool too.
That's lame.
If he's legitimately a gay guy and just wants to get hot and bothered by us talking gay shit, that's pretty fucking awesome too.
I asked him, I was like, who's more gay, RJ or Soto? And he's like, RJ, definitely. Not even close. More gay, please.
I mean, I don't know.
Yes. Go on.
I don't know. I mean, you have better hygiene. You definitely don't dance better than I do.
I think it just means you're super straight, Soto. You're like the straightest guy in the world.
I don't know.
You're totally hetero.
I guess. I get a little handsy when I drink, okay?
All you think about is football, eating pussy, and fracking. You're so hetero.
I'm such a hetero.
So straight. All right, that's it for this episode of the Autumn Windbags. Thank you for bringing it. What up, Windbags? That was our best What Up, Windbags.
That's pretty funny.
In 300 and what are we on? 14 episodes? Is this what episode are we on? 314 episodes. Wow. Anything crazy happens, we'll go live, let you know. I will be in Shanghai, China next week. So hopefully the fearless leader in China will let me do a show and not censor my internet. Been there before, maybe being able to make it work, figure things out.
Yeah, all right.
Until then, knock on wood if you're with me.